Just thought I'd start a channel to help me and my children. Um, so, blessings and peace to those who are listening. And yeah, I thought I would share my testimony um, to hopefully bring people to God and also to help me and my family from these government criminals who have had us under illegal surveillance for over a decade now, um, with the fact that since I was young, I've had family who've been involved in government but never told me. God only knows how long this thing has been going on. Uh, Along the way, God has revealed to me a lot, um, but there's a lot that I still don't know because people are sworn to secrecy. Now, uh, I found out that the majority of my family is being compensated for participating in a phony investigation on me. Somehow I've been put on a phony watch list. I don't know if it was one of my family members. Um, I'm not sure who did it because clearly they're not adult enough to admit it. And from what I've studied and understand now, that the US government is very criminally minded and criminally operated. Um, the very same laws that they claim to follow and hold up are the ones that they continuously break for their own benefit. So, yeah, I've had my children illegally taken from me uh, in 2016 of September, and I've been dealing with these crimes uh, since then, and obviously before then, because things don't happen overnight, right? So I had my children illegally kidnapped from me. I was illegally thrown in jail, and then my car was stolen, and I've actually had another car stolen. I've been raped. I've been anything you can think of, almost. Um, it's happened. And this is done through 24/7 surveillance by the US government. It's through Homeland Security, and they say that they are fighting domestic terrorism. So basically, when you expose government crime, you are labeled a domestic terrorist. You're put on a watch list and tracked in real time, 24/7, through the GPS on your phone. And whatever city you go to, that particular sheriff station, fire department, are notified. And the people that have signed up to participate, um, they participate and they're being compensated. So the sheriff's department has informants that they train, and everybody signs a contract of secrecy because supposedly they're going to catch somebody for committing a crime that they've never proven, have no facts, no evidence of, and they never take it to court because the way they're operating is criminal. So if they were to say or try to lie about, uh, you know, saying that they have uh, legal right to do what they're doing, they'd also have to admit that they're committing crime, and you can't do both. So they just play this game where they're investigating, right? Someone who's supposedly committed a crime, but there's never any charges, there's never any court hearing. Um, Other than what they mainly try to do is entangle people. They use their informants to create drama and pay people to illegally accuse you of committing crime. Once again, they never prove it because it's not true. So the only thing they really go by is paying people to say things against a person. So they figure, well, the only thing they've got is paying people to lie. So the only strength they feel that they have is in numbers by having more than one person participate and give the same story. So that's what they did when they kidnapped my children from me. The judge was corrupt. The police were corrupt, obviously, because they already knew they were committing the crime. And it's even more intense because it's children involved and they're illegally removing them from their mother. Okay. So, so it's been going on. This happened in 2016, but obviously they were doing the surveillancing and the tracking and all that and the filming. Obviously, they were doing that before they did what they did. It was all planned out. Okay. And basically, I knew something was wrong, but nobody would tell me what it was. And my instinct as a mother told me to get my children out of the environment. But at the time, I didn't realize that it was following us. But now I look back at all the scenarios that happened now, and we've been surveillanced and tracked and filmed and followed and harassed by family members, by strangers, by whoever participates in this. A lot of people do it because they're afraid of the government and they see what they're capable of and they don't want to get the same treatment I'm getting. They've got my children involved in this, they've got my children watching and telling my children they can't talk about it. So um, there's so much that has happened and so much that has gone on. It's been, like I said, over a decade, at least 15 years, um, you know, that this situation has gone on and been trying to figure out a way to where I can make a living, but they're trying to prevent me from doing so. And um, I've had several jobs that have been sabotaged. Um, so what they're trying to do ultimately is they're trying to discredit me for speaking the truth about what they're doing because they don't want to pay the penalty for their crimes. They would rather uh, they would rather paint me as a criminal to make themselves look legit, like they're the heroes trying to protect everybody now. But meanwhile, the whole entire time, the crimes are being committed against me, and especially my children because they have never had a choice in the matter. They've always been too young. So at 3 and 6 years old, and my oldest child, who was born with a physical condition, they were illegally removed from me. And now people have been compensated since then to continuously make false claims and accusations against me to keep my children away because they've had my children involved in this too. So when I go to see my children, which took me a few years because they had attacked me, trying to stop me from being in their life, because they don't want my children to testify against them, and they don't want people to see me raising my children, providing for my children, because then, you know, they feel like that would give me more credit when they're trying to discredit me. That's all they're concerned about is stopping me from making a living, stopping me from raising my children. They don't want me in society because they see me as a threat to influencing large numbers of people. They don't want people to believe me because if large numbers of people know about this, or or better yet, people that are already involved and already know about it, if those people decide to go against all this propaganda they've got going, then they lose their power, they lose their money, because all they do is use people to carry out their crimes. And they've got people silenced out of fear, out of bribery, or both. So, my goal is to get my children, to raise them, to protect them. Um, and I realize that I can't do that by going along with what these people are trying to do, because the only thing they're concerned about is covering up their crimes and continuing to commit them. That's the only agenda that they're concerned with. And anybody that stands in their way, um, hence myself, they want to eliminate people like me from society because they don't want to lose their control, they don't want to lose their power and their money, their lifestyle. They don't want anybody to stand in the way of that. So someone like me gets put on a phony watch list and labeled a domestic terrorist. Now, mind you, I'm being illegally tracked and surveillance 24/7. So my constitutional rights are being violated on a daily basis. But I'm the one dealing with domestic terrorism by your local emergency responders who are claiming to be fighting terrorism domestically, but yet the terrorism is coming at me and my children and my family. So it's a hypocrisy there. It's where they flip the script, and they're either playing the hero or they're playing the victim or they're playing both. They just, make it up as they go along to however it suits their needs at the moment. But the story is always that I've got to be the bad guy because they have to find an excuse for what they're doing because it's a blatant violation of privacy of rights. So how are you gonna take something to that level and not have a legitimate proof of the reason of why you're doing what you're doing? So that's kind of backwards, right? Normally, if you're going to start something like that, you've got to have some pretty solid evidence to support the actions that you're taking because you're using people's tax dollars. You're using people's tax dollars, you're using people's tax dollars to commit crimes against somebody who you're saying is a criminal, but you can't prove it. So, because of these insane people who have no morals, no values, no concern for anybody but their pockets and covering their asses, um, they've caused my children to be without a mother for almost 7 years now. They ripped my children away from me at 3 and 6 years old, illegally. They had nothing to charge me with. I was never charged with anything because the crimes were committed against me and my children. And it's still happening as we speak. So I realized that if I don't open my mouth and speak up and stand up for myself and for my children, nobody else will. Because people, at the end of the day, are more concerned with protecting themselves. So um, I'm just putting the word out there because, I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to move forward so I can make a life for my children. But these government criminals, when they flash their little badges and say that they're doing a super important investigation, basically they just use that as access to get into any facility or business or whatever and infiltrate it so they can try and control the outcome of the situation. So, for example, I'm studying to get a California commercial driver license. Now, if they go into that DMV system and rig it, then there's nothing I can do. So basically, they can see my cell phone usage in real time. They can look at my emails. They can go into my bank accounts. They're literally watching right now, listening right now. So they were trying to do everything in their power to sabotage my last job, which they did, okay, because they wanted to sabotage the last job because they want to prevent me from ever getting another one again. So now I said that to say when I'm applying for jobs online, the minute I apply for a company, they know where that location is and they target that location and they make contact with the people that are involved in there and they try to figure out a way from block me from getting employment. Okay? So I don't know if they have some type of, weird stuff on my record that's not even legit, which could be the case. Um, but I'm just doing the most that I can humanly possibly do with the situation. Um, and I know that as deep as this goes and as crazy as it is, um, the beautiful thing about it all is that um, these people can't get past their own lives because they're literally committing crimes and their dumbasses are filming themselves do it. So you're committing a crime, but you're filming yourself doing it and trying to justify it while you're doing it. And I don't care what anybody says, nobody is stupid. Clearly, something is wrong with the situation because nobody can make it make sense. Nobody can legally justify it. Nobody can legally, um, excuse it. It's just a constant circus of what? Of nothing in front of a camera. There's nothing going on that's resembling terrorism other than the invasion of people's privacy. So the only difference between me and anybody else you see on camera is I didn't give consent. They just figure if they're pointing the cameras at me that they can just make everybody assume I'm guilty of something. But it don't work like that. It doesn't. Nobody's stupid. So um, the camera's up 24/7. Most people in front of the camera, unless you're in a super public place um, with a lot of traffic, most people are aware they're on camera. They're being compensated to be there, and they're being compensated to not admit the cameras are there, and they're being compensated to try to sabotage and undermine someone's character and their life. Um, like I said, their ultimate goal is to remove me from society because I exposed their crimes. Okay. Um, the stuff that they do, clearly they're not going to put it on the news because the government controls the media. So they're not going to put it on the news. They're not going to expose themselves and incriminate themselves. Right. So, anyways, I thought I'd put that out there because I want my children to have their mother. I want to be able to raise my children. I want to be able to protect them from these evil, insane people. Um, so I have to put them in God's hands every day. And yeah, I'm just trying to get the word out there of what it is from my point of view, um, and just ask people for prayer. I'm not asking for money. I'm just asking for the right people to pray for myself and for my children, for my family. Um, it's been so much hell. It's been so much hell, and um, we need the right people to be in our lives because the wrong people are just trying to just completely destroy it. And I refuse to have my children's future ruined because adults are too childish and too greedy and too evil to step up and do the right thing for children who have never had the choice in the matter. So if I have to be the only one to tell the truth and speak the truth for my children, I don't mind it because I love them that much and I want them in my life. So whatever I have to do, whatever I have to say, being it the truth, obviously, the truth speaks for itself. So I'm gonna do it because I know these fools. They want you to believe that you have to go down to their level. They want to drag you down to their level, so you're too afraid to speak up, just like they are. They want to pull you into their mess, so you won't expose them. They want you to be on their side so they don't have anybody stopping them from doing what they're doing. They don't want large enough peoples that aren't scared of speaking the truth. And like I said, I'm the type of person that represents the possibility of a large enough amount of people telling them, no, we're not going to commit your crimes for you. Um, Go to hell where you belong, really. Um, anyways, uh, just getting the word out there, speaking the truth. My children deserve it. Anybody that doesn't isn't able to speak for themselves, they deserve somebody to do that. That's what the word says: is speak for those who can't speak for themselves. So um, my children deserve to know the truth, and they deserve a mother, and they deserve not to be involved in this. They don't want to be. I guarantee it. Nobody does. But the only way that this type of situation continues on is by people agreeing to participate in keeping it going. So I don't stand for what's going on. I never will. And that's why I'm being targeted the way I am. But like I said, I don't mind. That's what God has sent me here to do. And I'm going to do what He asked me to do, which is to tell the truth. Because people are counting on me, especially my children. So um, if you have it in your heart to pray for us, I would appreciate it. Like I said, I'm not asking for money. I'm just asking for the right people to do the right thing. So God bless you, and uh, I guess that is it for today. That's all, and God willing, I'll be able to post something else in the near future.